Pod pays.
Want to boost customer retention effortlessly? In this episode, you'll learn how to clean your data for better insights, invest in automated email marketing, leverage organic content, and optimize conversion rates through A/B testing, and more on this episode of Content on the Go. Hey everyone, I'm Darren Lake, and welcome to Content on the Go, a podcast by PodPaste. Each episode, we answer questions or talk about one specific idea to help you market your business or brand better. And we do that by making them easy to digest, short and concise, because we all have a business to run. Let's go. On this episode, I'm talking to someone that I've worked with very closely, and I'd call it a dear friend, Mr. David Weinberger. He's a fractional growth marketer and B2B marketing leader with over 10 years experience in the industry. He's worked with companies like Mortgage Choice, Starcome Media Vest Group, and paperForm, and he's an all-around awesome guy. Let's get into it. We've got a lot of points that we're going to get through on this. Let's talk about the first one, which is clean your data. I've never heard anything like this. You're an expert marketer. Please tell me what clean your data means.
Well, maybe I'll take one step back and I might just say that make sure you've got the data before you start marketing. Before you start putting content out there, you spend time and money into things like ads and all of such things. It's important to have your ducks in a row with your data. So, okay, you've got them clicking on your content and your ads, but what are they doing on your website, your platform, and through the conversion funnel? So think about what is the typical user journey that someone will take? What are the most important parts of that journey? And how am I going to make sure that I understand what people are doing, where they're dropping off, and also most importantly, why? So, big data will give you insights into what people are doing, but some of the most valuable insights come from the qualitative side, where you ask, why are users doing that? What's their motivation? But what's also the biggest point of friction for them? What's holding them back from completing the checkout, from completing the sign-up form and things like that? So one of the very first things I did at Metigy when I started was I went to the CEO and I said, we don't have enough information on this journey of users. We can't say that we should be investing money in certain parts of our marketing funnel because we don't even understand what the funnel looks like. So attributing, the ability to attribute your marketing activity to certain user behavior means that you can go back and optimize and pour more resources into really ramping that up. So it really helps you define which channels are working and which aren't. When it comes to cleaning your data, good data in means good insights out. So another thing I came across when we first started was, like most startups, you're putting things together really, really quickly. And we had, same information in multiple different locations, and that caused duplication of information. But with that duplicate information, it meant that if we were running, let's say, an email marketing series, a marketing campaign through email, users were getting hit up with the same email twice because our data wasn't clean. So sometimes it's the grunt work of downloading the Excel doc, looking at it, doing some VLOOKUPs, removing the old ones, and making sure that it is sparkling. Because if that's not right, then you're going to create a really poor user experience. Just the same way you would for your product, you need to think the same about your marketing as well.
Those are great points all around. And let me talk about one specific kind of thing to look at. Review your historical trends. And by that, look at when things actually went down. And the last time, that we can say things went down, won't really give you a timestamp on when this is right now, but it was back in COVID, March of 2020. You can see what was happening there. Even though it was actually a very short period of time, we thought that recession, quote unquote, was going to be a while. It was more of a correction. You can see what was happening there and then use that to forecast or at least look forward with some of your data.
Yeah, sure. So it's important to consider different types of data. So yes, it's great if you've already got the data and you've done the legwork and your whole journey can be easily mapped, and you've got all that first-party data. But for a lot of small small businesses and intermediate marketers, they might not have that historical data. It might only be able to be accessed through third party. So a third party doesn't mean things like cookies or anything, but it means that industry information. For every downturn, there are hundreds of economists and market researchers looking into what's happening, why is it happening, and what's the effect on not just the industry, but oftentimes your competitors. Especially if you're coming into a more mature market, there will be that information out there, and sometimes it's as simple as just Googling it and seeing, how can I best brace for what's to come.
All right, let's go into the second point here, which is invest in email marketing. And in the last episode, we actually talked about how email marketing is phenomenal because it's quote unquote free, low cost, low resources ish, depending on, how complex your email marketing processes are. But yeah, tell me a bit more on investing in email marketing for your own business.
Sure. And, my general philosophy is, it's very hard to leverage one channel without really having a strong product and a strong offering, because me personally, the products that I love, a good example is Miro, which is like a flowchart diagramming tool online. I look out for their email updates to say they've added a new feature. And a lot of people will feel the same. It could be the same about commerce as well. If you love a particular clothing brand, you can't wait for their winter, summer, autumn collection to come out, and you're waiting for that. So really, email is great once you've got the love of your brand there. And that's the first thing. If you've got that, then email is where it's at, because you've built that that equity and that buy-in before. So you don't have to have some really flashy, clickbaity subject line, which help. They help. That should always be optimized and tested. But
It doesn't. Sorry to interrupt. It doesn't have to be clickbaity. It could be
yeah,
a well-written headline that
yeah,
describes, a solution or problem.
yeah.
I
And
think,
it comes down to your definition of clickbait.
yeah,
If your clickbait is like you're fooling someone, then yeah, definitely don't do that. Like
yeah,
you want to give them an insight into what whatever great content you've got on the email is, but you need to capture their attention. And sometimes that's what I refer to as clickbait.
fair, yeah. And I think a lot of people, they inside marketers, we say clickbait, but we know it means like it's still, on the up and up. It's still like clean and genuine and authentic.
Yeah,
Because clickbait is you wouldn't believe what this one thing did here, and then you click that. Like that's clickbait. And
yeah,
try not to do that for any small business. That's fine for a tabloid magazine.
yeah.
That's fine for, that bottom, I think they call it not spam, they call it chum. You know about chum? Do you
No,
know
no,
about this?
no.
Oh man,
Not familiar
yeah.
with
So
Chum.
there's like chum at the bottom of some blog post,
Yeah,
which is like all that stuff that's generated by Outbrain and all that.
yeah,
And I shouldn't have named them, but oh well. It's just those like clickbaity. It's like, thing this,
yeah,
this person made this much money in your suburb, and you're just like, that's clickbait. So
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
defining things. You
yeah.
can say, 10 things to learn. This is how you'll get better at this. And that's just a strong title, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And also just coming back to, your original question around email, why email is important in the automation journey. So, if you've always got limited resources, money is time. As much as you've got a set marketing budget, you've also got limited time. So you should always be looking to automate yourself out of a job. That's my number one tip for people in the first, 5, 6, 7 years of employment is automate yourself out of the job so you can think and work on a higher level. So that's the first thing. Email is great because, first of all, there's a whole host of freemium products out there to get started with. There's Campaign Monitor, or there are larger CRMs. Even HubSpot has a freemium model. But they allow you to track all that data and then set triggers that allow you to communicate with the right people at the right time, which is the holy grail of marketing, isn't it? It's like what people always say is, the right message to the right person at the right time. Email is really the easiest for those, for people to grapple onto.
And to our third point, invest in organic content. So I've got my ideas of organic content, but tell me, as an expert marketer that you are, what do you mean by investing in organic content?
So, again, if you're a business who is low on cash but high on, let's say, things like time, and possibly like resources internally with your team, then you can think about things, outside of the realms of quick wins, like that ads usually drive. And I think we were talking before about how ads are really, the match to the gasoline on the fire. They get things going and they can drive quick results. But if you really want sustainable long-term growth and results, you need to invest in content, in organic channels as well. And that can only happen over time and with regular cadence. So, and that is regardless of channel. So we're talking about social media, we're talking about blog, we're talking about podcasts. There's a threshold that you need to pass before you start being seen as an authority, not just to Google and the algorithm, but to people as well, which are often one and the same thing. So organic content is a long-term play for me. And, when you think about the importance of content, again, it comes back to mapping out that user journey and then aligning the right content at the right parts of that journey. So you might deliver it through email, but that's an organic channel, but that's not organic, that's not the content that goes into it. So you've got to have, know your customer, know their journey, and this is kind of how it all ties together, and know their friction and pain points at certain parts, and solve that with content in any format you so choose. As long as it works for the user.
And our last point is CRO. What does CRO mean? I have been in marketing for a while, and I think I've seen that term and actually don't know what it is. So tell everyone what it means, and in the context of this episode, how to improve your retention with automation in a spiraling downward cycle of an economy.
Sure. I guess the role that CRO plays is, and just to break down that abbreviation, it's conversion rate optimization.
Got you. Now I know that. That makes a lot more sense now. I
Yeah,
have seen this,
marketing
yes.
loves the marketing industry loves an acronym. But conversion rate optimization is really, you can only take certain channels so far in terms of testing and improving to a point where you start to hit a bit of a glass ceiling. So it really addresses the concept of, okay, we've gotten the user to, let's say, our website, but what is the experience we're looking to give them there? And a lot of paid marketing specialists negate this as a real form of making the dollar stretch further. So if you can convert your user at twice the rate, but keep the amount of clicks to your website as a constant, then you've already halved your cost. So I think you have to think of it like that, and that often comes in the form of things like A/B testing. It can be really simple, such as like things like copy, call to action, and you can do this with a raft of free tools like Google Optimize, with a no-code solution such as that anyone can kind of jump on. So don't set and forget your website. Make sure you're A/B testing your messaging and the whole user journey as well.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. DW. I'll just call you Mr. DW, not David Weinberger. That's just a lot of syllables. So we've gone over a bunch today: cleaning your data, investing in email marketing, investing in organic content, and CRO, customer
conversion rate optimization.
Conversion rate optimization. Lot to take in. Hopefully these tools can help you as a small business owner or, marketer or personal brand, as I am, kind of get through any sort of downturn in your industry or overall economy. Any last words? Because I think we need to wrap this up very quickly.
Thanks for having me.
From PodPaste, you've listened to Content on the Go. Again, I'm Darren, and PodPaste hopes you found more insights and tips into your business or brand. If you've liked what you heard, please share a link with other businesses or marketers if you think they would get something from this. And for a limited time, we are offering 2 special services for people. The first is aimed at businesses that have never done podcasting and want to try it out before committing to a full series. Think Try Before You Buy, where we will edit and repurpose a podcast episode into 10 pieces of content for you for only $95. That's 82% off our normal rate. But if you've already have a podcast going, we'd love to edit an episode for free for you or repurpose it into 10 pieces of content to show you what is possible. Either way, sign up at the link in the show notes or YouTube description below to jump on a quick 10-minute discovery call where we can brainstorm ideas or audit your existing podcast and help shape your next series. See you on the next episode.